show. I am your host, Christene Marie. Today we are moving on to lesson 22 in A Course in Miracles. I'm going to start off as I do by reading through, today I'm going to read through every single lesson that has led up to today and where we are now. So with that, let's get started. Nothing I see in this room means anything. I have given everything I see in this room all of the meaning that it has for me. I do not understand anything I see in this room. Lesson 4. These thoughts do not mean anything. They are like the things I see in this room. Lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason that I think. Lesson 6. I am upset because I see something that is not there. Lesson 7. I see only the past. Lesson 8. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. Lesson 9. I see nothing as it is now. Lesson 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. Lesson 11. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Lesson 12. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. Lesson 13. A meaningless world engenders fear. Lesson 14. God did not create a meaningless world. Lesson 15. My thoughts are images that I have made. Lesson 16. I have no neutral thoughts. Lesson 17. I see no neutral things. Lesson 18. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. Lesson 19. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. Lesson 20. I am determined to see. Lesson 21. I am determined to see things differently. On to lesson 22. What I see is a form of vengeance. Today's idea accurately describes the way anyone who holds attack thoughts in his mind projected his anger onto the world. He sees vengeance about to strike at him. His own attack is thus perceived as self-defense. This becomes an increasingly vicious cycle until he is willing to change how he sees. Otherwise, thoughts of attack and counterattack will preoccupy him and people his entire world. What peace of mind is possible to him then? It is from this savage fantasy that you want to escape. And is it not joyous news to hear that it is not real? Is it not a happy discovery to find that you can escape? You made what you would destroy and everything that you would hate and would attack and kill. All that you fear does not exist. Look at the world about you for at least 5 minutes today, for at least a minute each time. As your eyes move slowly from one object to another, from one body to another, say to yourself, I see only the perishable. I see nothing that will last. What I see is not real. What I see is a form of vengeance. At the end of each practice period, ask yourself, is this the world I really want to see? The answer is surely obvious. Good morning, y'all. Thank you so much for joining today. I am just jumping over to the chat. I'm reading through A Course in Miracles, Nincompoop. I get it now. Good to see you. I just had to read your title a couple times. I'm glad you're here, Cedric, Olier. Good to see you. I am happy this morning. It's a good day. It's a good day to be alive. I'm grateful to be alive. I hope you're happy too. Kyle, good morning. Abby, Keith, happy Thursday. Someone that speaks the truth. Thank you for joining us. Capital and Cave, we can discipline our senses, but it doesn't explain the truth. That is so interesting. I'm going to sit with that for a second and I'm going to come back to it because that's very profound. Today's lesson 22 in A Course in Miracles, what I see is a form of vengeance. You know, y'all, as I was reading, for those of you who are just joining, I actually read through the 21 lessons preceding this, building up to it. And it is so much a retraining, a reprogramming. You know, we have ourselves so convinced that everything we perceive is knowledge, that it is true, that we're 100% right, that we see clearly. And, over the 21 days leading up till today, as I'm reading through this, even lesson 5, I am never upset for the reason I think. Lesson 7, I see only the past. Uh, I am upset because I see a meaningless world. God did not create a meaningless world. And then lesson 16, man, this just made such an impact on me. I have no neutral thoughts. Everything we see, everything we think has the ability to bring life or bring death, even if it's just a small, I think of trauma as big T trauma moments, where the big T moments are the ones where somebody dies or we're in a horrible car accident or something obviously scarring. Whereas the little T moments are so often left unobserved. It's the slow yet repetitious cutting remarks. It's the eye rolls. It's the kicks under the table telling you to shut up. It's all of those little moments that slowly eat away at us and really train us in terms of how to see the world. And those little D moments, little death moments of, man, every single thought that we think that chips away at us or somebody else is causing a micro death and fracture between us and our unity with ourselves and with each other. And so the real goal here in terms of what we've been looking at over the last couple of days has been to acknowledge, one, that I don't see everything perfectly. Two, it's that more than often I'm actually probably not seeing it right. Even yesterday's lesson, I am determined to see differently. I did the 5 practice periods yesterday and more. Like, I found that if I was frustrated at someone, I actually said that, I'm determined to see differently. And it was almost like immediately I got out of my shoes and sat in someone else's shoes and looked at the dynamic. And I'm like, oh man, there's 100 million reasons why they could have said it the way that they did. Even if they said it with an intent to hurt me, man, they've been through a lot. All of a sudden, there was just so much empathy. There was so much care and compassion when I started saying that phrase yesterday. And so now today's what I see as a form of vengeance on top of that. I just want to reread the intro here. Today's idea accurately describes the way anyone who holds attack thoughts in his mind must see the world. Having projected his anger onto the world, he sees vengeance about to strike at him. His own attack is thus perceived as self-defense. This becomes an increasingly vicious cycle until he is willing to change how he sees. Otherwise, thoughts of attack and counterattack will preoccupy him and people, his entire world. What peace of mind is possible? So it's just fascinating how when we start thinking attack thoughts like anger towards other people, we then start seeing and receiving anger in return. What we really do put out is so often what we receive, because we're programming our mind to be one of anger or vengeance, and then that's what we're perceiving in return. And so if we want to change the world about us, the external world, I just am curious. I'm learning with you guys. And as I'm listening to and reading to today's lesson, I'm just getting this thought around, I wonder how much, if we want to change our external world, we change ourselves. It's funny, this morning during vertical alignment, it was actually very much so like that. I'm going back to the notes I took during vertical alignment, because I just felt very strongly along this line. Like, if I want to focus on behaving a certain way, I actually need to change my beliefs. If I want to have a different outcome in my physical external world, then I need to have a different outcome internally. And so the fixation for me to take just full inner responsibility and then assume agency on what that looks like assuming agency in my external world is simply an overflow of my inner world. And how am I showing up, and how am I dealing with the past, and how am I in terms of engaging with other people? So like this inner pursuit, this inner compass and alignment there is 100% the first and foremost most important thing. And then the external comes on the heels of that. It's kind of like an overflow. Like if we were to pour water into a glass, the overflow from there, that's us filling up our own tank and filling up and getting ourselves into alignment every single day. And then the overflow is what happens in the external. the result of our beliefs. Our behaviors are the results of our beliefs in so many ways. The practices we embody in our life are a result of the principles that we hold. So if we're not liking things in our external world, I think it gives us such an incredible opportunity to analyze what's going on inside of me. And that's assuming radical responsibility. Even when she says, it is from this savage fantasy that you want to escape. Is it not joyous news to hear that it is not real? Is it not a happy discovery to find that you can escape? You made what you would destroy. Everything you hate and would attack and kill. All that you fear does not exist. So much of what she's talking about here is really, it's almost a reclamation of our own power to take back and recognize that so much of what we hate that's going on around us, we get the power to change. I was in a relationship with someone about probably a year ago, and I just kept seeing all the ways that we needed to grow, which isn't a bad thing, but they were starting to feel a little bit, they were just starting to feel like, oh my gosh, because that's hard if you're only ever being like, oh, and I was actually excited about it. I was like, and we get to grow in this way and change in this way. And they were like, oh my gosh. And I just had this moment one morning during vertical alignment where this phrase came to me: gratitude is the antidote. And so I just started, I was like, okay, I think that my desire for growth is starting to be overwhelming to this friend. So I was like, let me just focus on being grateful. It was wild, the change that they and I both experienced, because all of a sudden the lens, it was my choice. I changed the lens from one of growth to gratitude. And immediately our entire relationship just flourished. It was fun. It was lighthearted. And we find this, I'm sure, with our children. Y'all, I need this lesson for when I'm a mom, because I love alchemizing. I love taking something and making it better and making it more magical and more beautiful. But with human people, that's hard for them to not feel like they're not enough and sufficient right now. Even for myself, it's actually really important that I alchemize on the heels of gratitude, like gratitude first and then growth. And so gratitude being the antidote really is true, because it comes in and changes our lenses. It adjusts our dials, and we start seeing how wonderful people are, how wonderful the world is, how good God is. And yes, there's things we don't yet like. Yes, there's actually a lot of pain. And we need to feel that when it's there. But what am I intentionally pursuing? What am I intentionally fixating on? That so often is what's going to come back to me. So I just want to take a moment and say hello to some folks here in the chat. Norm3344, good to see you. Minus bigger, Minnie is bigger. Today is January 22nd. It is 8:47 a.m. Eastern. I am Groot. I love that. I love, what a good name. I love that's what is it called? What's the Disney movie with the minions? I forget. CJ, good to see you. Titan, Sights, Stia, Nathan Blossom. I saw James earlier. I just came back. Thank you all so much for joining. Steve, or Stevie Robo. You know what? I like this. I like this concept. I don't know if I agree, but I think it's cool. Stevie Robo says, we all live in a simulation, so treat your life as a test and you will be reset soon enough. And, I think that there's something about that concept of like, we don't know. I don't think life is a simulation, but it could be. And frankly, if it is a simulation, I want to live to the best of my ability. I want to live not just to the best of my ability, but experiencing life as richly and fully as possible. We talked about that last night on the show, how to experience life and live it so fully so that we don't waste a moment. And that takes intentionality. I was looking at like the root word of intention a couple weeks ago, and it's effectively encompassing all of us, our mind, body, soul, spirit. Every facet of us is almost engaged and harnessed in the pursuit of something. And so, man, if my intention is to live fully, then every part of me needs to be online, activated. And Stevie Robo, you said awake. Like, Are we living awake? Are we living from this place of being so aware and awake that we're actually, like, I'm sitting here looking outside my window and there's just trees. And I'm like, when's the last time we actually noticed the trees and looking at the sunlight coming through the trees in just a really, really beautiful way and how it lights up certain pockets because there's no clouds there? And when is the last time that we sat and noticed the little things? Because those little things are the ordinary that make up life and make it really, really beautiful. Elijah, good to see you. Cuity, Joseph. I'm not from Jersey. I am from Washington, D.C. Jesse. Oh my. Norm. All right. I am going to wrap up here because it doesn't seem like there's a ton happening in the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off. Y'all, thank you so much for joining today's lesson. Benny, it's not pre-recorded. This is live right now. Cody, good to see you guys. Just a quick reminder of today's lesson. What I see is a form of vengeance. This is just, it's really important that we recognize how are we engaging with the world? What does it look like to change our perception and to don a different pair of lenses? If we want to experience more joy, for me, gratitude has been the antidote. So with that, thank you all so much for joining. Andrew, good to see you. Thank you for your note. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful day. Brian, thanks for coming. I just saw you. Norm. Have a wonderful day, guys. I will see you tonight at I just remembered I'm actually going to dinner with my sisters. I probably will be on a little bit later tonight. It might be more like 9 or 9:30 p.m. Eastern for the Knowing Show. Or actually, it might be, if I was to do it early, what works for you guys best? I know that we usually have a different group in the morning and a different group at night, but what do you guys prefer? Because I've got a networking event at 5:30 tonight, so I could actually go live around like 4:30. So would you guys prefer 4:30 p.m. Eastern or 9:30 p.m. Eastern? So if you guys don't mind just letting me know. Ravi, I'm live on a couple different streams. So I've got 2 different YouTube set up. One is like the Knowing Podcast channel, and then one is my personal channel. So I'm live on both. So we've got different people commenting in different places. But it's funny. I actually don't know who's showing up in which place. So I can't say like who's on which channel. I only see the YouTube icon. Andrew, you said, what time is it in Washington now? Washington State. I believe you're Pacific. So that would be, is it 5:52 a.m.? Because in Washington, D.C., it's 8:52 a.m. Troy, you said 6 p.m. I can't do 6. I have a networking event at 5:30. So I could do 4:30 or 9:30. Okay. Neo Flyer says 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Perfect. So then I'll do 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be like around there. I might do it from the car tonight. So it might be very dark. We'll see. But anyways, I'll say 9:30 or 10 just to be safe. But anyways, really good to see you guys. Thank you for joining. Remember, I'm going to be, this is the lesson. What I see is a form of judgment, vengeance. This is the actual exercise. I'm going to put this here in the chat. And this is what we're supposed to do 5 times for 60 seconds throughout today. I'm just putting this here in the chat and hopefully it comes through. I don't know why it has numbers there, but that's how it was when I copied it. Okay. Y'all, I will see you soon. Thank you. And